Hello everybody and welcome to this channel again once more. It's really good to have you here, and once again it's me, Parker Media, Nick Parker. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're here today to talk about something, and I know I'm late to the party, which is Grok 3. So today I want to see whatever Elon Musk and all the engineers have said about this, and it's pretty much like a reaction, and I want to see and to watch that with you and to see what they're going to say about. And Grok is amazing. So if you want to use it, and if you don't know how to use it, you can go to Twitter or X, and then you can use it for free pretty much. Now they have a few plans that you can pay for it, and then you can subscribe to it, and then you can use it. But if I'm not mistaken, you can still use it for free, and it's amazing. You can generate images, you can ask difficult tasks, and you know, is a brilliant module which I previously used many times, and it's very intuitive, it's very fun, it's very good to use. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, welcome to the Grok 3 presentation. So the mission of XAI and Grok is to understand the universe. We want to understand the nature of the universe so we can figure out what's going on, where are the aliens, what's the meaning of life, how does the universe end, how did it start, all these fundamental questions. We're driven by curiosity about the nature of the universe, and that's also what causes us to be a maximally truth-seeking AI, even if that truth is sometimes at odds with what is politically correct. In order to understand the nature of the universe, you must absolutely rigorously pursue truth, or you will not understand the universe. You will be suffering from some amount of delusion or error. So that is our goal, figure out what's going on. And we're very excited to present Grok 3, which is, we think, an order of magnitude more capable than Grok 2 in a very short period of time. And that's thanks to the hard work of an incredible team. And I'm honored to work with such a great team. And of course, we'd love to have some of the smartest humans out there join our team. So with that, let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Igor, lead engineering at XAI.
I'm Jimmy Ba, leading research.
I'm Tony, working on the reasoning team.
All right, I'm Elon. I don't do anything. I just show up occasionally.
Yeah. So,
right.
Like Elon mentioned, Grok is the tool that we're working on. Grok is our AI that we're building here at XAI, and we've been working extremely hard over the last few months to improve Grok as much as we can, so we can give it to all of you, so we can give all of you access to it. We think it's going to be extremely useful to you. We think it's going to be interesting to talk to, funny, really funny, and we're going to explain to you how we've improved Grok over the last few months. We've made quite a jump in capabilities.
Yeah, actually, we should explain maybe also why do we call it Grok? So Grok is a word from
Actually, this is quite good. I always wanted to know, because like Elon has those kind of things where where he decides to put stuff on his companies, names and little like Easter eggs and things that he loves to do it. And then it would be cool to know why is he choosing Grok. Well, I guess we're gonna find out now.
Heinlein novel, Stranger in a Strange Land, and it's used by a guy who's raised on Mars. And the word Grok is to sort of fully and profoundly understand something. That's what the word Grok means, fully and profoundly understand something.
And empathy is important.
True.
So, yeah, if we charted XAI's progress in the last few months, it's only been 17 months since we started kicking off our very first model. Grok 1 was almost like a toy by this point, only 314 billion parameters. And
yeah, that's insane. It's such a short period of time, and they are catching up so fast. Well, obviously, Elon has been involved with ChatGPT anyways, but looking at this graphic is just insane. It truly is. If you see the evolution for the other modules, especially for ChatGPT, the way that they develop, and then now Grok developing within 17 months or so is insane.
We're proud of progress. The time on the x-axis, the performance of favorite benchmark numbers, MMLU, on the y-axis. We're literally progressing at unprecedented speed across the whole field. And then we kick off Grok 1.5 right after Grok 1, released after November 2023, and then Grok 2. So if you look at where all the performance coming from, when you have a very correct engineering team and all the best AI talent, the only one thing we need is a big intelligence comes from big cluster. So we can reconvert the entire progress of XAI, now replacing the benchmark on the y-axis to the total amount of training flops. That is, how many GPUs we can run at any given time to train our large language models to compress the entire internet. So after Grok,
all human knowledge, really.
That's right.
Yeah, internet being part of it, but it's really all human knowledge, everything.
Yeah, the whole internet fits into a USB stick at this point.
It's like all the human tokens, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very soon into the real world.
Yeah.
So we had so much trouble actually training Grok 2 back in the days. We kicked off the model around February, and we thought we had a large amount of chips, but turned out we can barely get 8K training chips running coherently at any given time. And we had so many cooling and power issues. I think you were there in the data center.
Yeah, it was like really sort of more like 8K chips on average at 80% efficiency, more like 6,500 effective H100s training for several months. But now we're at the 100K.
Yeah, that's right.
More than 100K.
That's right. Wow. So what's the next step, right? So
again, that's impressive. Just the fact that they are catching up so fast is insane.
After Grok 2. So if we want to continue to accelerate, we have to take the matter into our own hands. We have to solve all the coolings, all the power issues, and everything.
Yeah. So in April of last year, Elon decided that really the only way for XAI to succeed, for XAI to build the best AI out there, is to build our own data center. So we didn't have a lot of time to it because we wanted to give you Grok 3 as quickly as possible. So really, we realized we have to build the data center in about 4 months. It turned out it took us 122 days to get the first 100K GPUs up and running, and that was a monumental effort to be able to do that. We believe it's the biggest fully connected H100 cluster of its kind. And we didn't just stop there. We actually decided that we need to double the size of the cluster pretty much immediately if we want to build the kind of AI that we want to build. So we then had another phase, which we haven't talked about publicly yet. So this is the first time that we're talking about this, where we doubled the capacity of the data center yet again. And that one only took us 92 days. So we've been able to use all of these GPUs, use all of this compute to improve Grok in the meantime. And basically today we're going to present you the results of that, the fruits that came from that.
That's, again, it's insane. This is great. I mean, the evolution, everything that they, doing with Grok, it's been such a great kind of a journey to see where they coming from, how quick they are catching up, the vision, where they want to go, and the accessibility that they gave to people to just, well, obviously help to train their module, but also to improve so quick. It's truly insane, truly is.
So Grok 3, 10x more compute.
More than 10x, really.
Yeah, really.
Like maybe 15x.
Yep. Compared to our previous generation model. And Grok 3 finished the pre-training early January. And we start, the model is still currently training, actually. So this is a little preview of our benchmark numbers. So we evaluated Grok 3 on, 3 different categories: on general mathematical reasonings, on general knowledge about STEM and science, and then also on computer science, coding. So AMY, American Invitational Math Examination, hosted, once a year. And if we evaluate the model performance, we can see that the Grok 3 across the board is in a league of its own. Even its little brother, Grok 3 Mini, is reaching the frontier across all the other competitors. So you would say, well, at this point,
wow, that's insane. If you look at the graphics, literally like DeepSeek, that was like running in way faster than GPT-4. And it was such a big thing when it came out, and then everybody was talking about it, and then just thinking about how quickly they're developing those kind of benchmarks, as you can see on the graph. It's truly is insane.
All these benchmarks You're just evaluating, the memorization of the textbooks, memorization of the GitHub repos. How about the real-time usefulness? How about we actually use those models in our product? So what we did instead is we actually kicked off a blind test of our Grok 3 model, codenamed Chocolate. It's pretty hot.
Yeah, hot chocolate.
And been running on this platform called Chatbot Arena for 2 weeks. I think the entire X platform at some point speculated this might be the next generation of AI coming our way. So how this Chatbot Arena works is that it strips away the entire product surface, right? It's just raw comparison of the engine of those AGIs, the language models themselves, and place an interface where the user will submit one single query, and you get to show 2 responses. You don't know which model they come from, and in the end, you make the vote. So in this blind test, Grok 3, an early version of Grok 3, already reached like 1,400. No other models has reached an ELO score, head-to-head comparison to all the other models at this score. And it's not just one single category. It's 1,400 aggregated across all the categories in chatbot capabilities, instruction following, coding. So it's number 1 across the board in this blind test.
And it's still climbing. So we actually have to keep updating it. So it's 1,400, above 1,400 and climbing.
Yeah, and in fact, we have a version of the
Wow.
model that we think is already much better than the one that we tested here.
Yeah.
We'll see, how far it gets. But that's the one that we're, working on. We're talking about today.
Yeah. So actually, one thing, if you're using Grok 3, I think you may notice improvements almost every day because we're continuously improving the model. So literally, even within 24 hours, you'll see improvements.
Yep. So
That's one of the most interesting things, because and I believe that this is what is becoming kind of this kind of a success in terms of making it so fast. They are training these modules like in such a way that it kind of literally updates itself every day, every 24 hours, every certain hours, and that's insane. And it makes it really good in literally a short amount of period, because it's always, it keeps training itself on and on.
it's not enough. That's not enough to build the best AI. And the best AI need to think like a human. You need to contemplate about all the possible solutions, self-critique, verify all the solutions, backtrack, and also think from the first principle. That's a very important capability. So we believe that as we take the best pre-trained model and continue training it with reinforcement learning, it will elicit the additional reasoning capabilities that allows the model to just become so much better and scale not just in the training time, but actually in the test time as well. So we already found the model is extremely useful internally for our own engineering, saving hours of time, hundreds of hours of coding time. So Igor, you are the power user of our Grok 3 reasoning model. So what are some use cases?
Yeah, so like Jimmy said, we've added advanced reasoning capabilities to Grok, and we've been testing them pretty heavily over the last few weeks in order to give you a little bit of a taste of what it looks like when Grok is solving hard reasoning problems. So we prepared 2 little problems for you. One comes from physics, and one is actually a game that Grok is going to write for us. So when it comes to the physics problem, what we want Grok to do is to plot a viable trajectory to do a transfer from Earth to Mars, and then at a later point in time, a transfer back from Mars to Earth. And that requires some physics that Grok will have to understand. So we're going to challenge Grok, come up with a viable trajectory, calculate it, and then plot it for us so we can see it. And this is totally unscripted, by the way.
That's the entirety of the prompt, which should be clarified, is that there's nothing more than that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Grok interface, and we've typed in this text that you can see here: generate code for an animated 3D plot of a launch from Earth, landing on Mars, and then back to Earth at the next launch window. And we've now kicked off the query, and you can see Grok is thinking. So part of Grok's advanced reasoning capabilities are these thinking traces that you can see here. You can even go inside and actually read what Grok is thinking as it's going through the problem, as it's trying to solve it.
We say we are doing some obscuration of the thinking so that our model doesn't get totally copied instantly. So there's more to the thinking than is displayed. Yeah,
and because this is totally unscripted, there's actually a chance that Grok might make a little coding mistake and it might not actually work. So just in case, we're going to launch 2 more instances of this. So if something goes wrong, we'll be able to to switch to those and show you something that's presentable. So we're kicking off the other two as well. And like I said, we have a second problem as well. Actually, one of our favorite activities here at XAI is having Grok write games for us, not just any old game, any game that you might already be familiar with, but actually creating new games on the spot and being creative about it. So one example that we found was really, really fun is create a game that's a mixture of the two games Tetris and Bejeweled. So
this is maybe an important thing. Like there's obviously if you ask an AI to create a game like Tetris, there are many examples of Tetris on the internet or a game like Bejeweled, whatever. It can copy it. What's interesting here is it achieved a creative solution combining the two games that actually works and is a good game.
Yeah,
we're seeing the beginnings of creativity.
Yeah, fingers crossed that we can recreate.
Guys, this is insane. The evolution of AI is so great. I understand that there might have, some people will be like, oh, but this will take I don't know, companies down. This would take someone else's job, or whichever kind of situation that you might be thinking. In this case, they're talking about gaming and that. But I truly believe that this is so helpful. So if you want to create something that is in your mind and you want to tweak it, talking to like a robot to help you to create something that is more towards where you want to get to then show to a developer, to then evolve that to a proper creative and more, you and then the developer would kind of have a more clear idea of where to go and the things that you want to create with the technology. So I still believe that this is great to get to point A, from point A to point B quicker, and then everybody's happy, and it's fantastic because you can create something out of nowhere without knowing how to create games. But if you have a great idea, then you're still able to create that. And that's
hopefully
great.
it works. Yeah.
Hopefully
It'd be
it works.
embarrassing if it isn't.
So actually, because this is a bit more challenging, we're going to use something special here, which we call Big Brain. That's our mode in which we use more computation, which is more reasoning for Grok, just to make sure that there's a good chance here that it might actually do it. So we're also going to fire off 3 attempts here at solving this game, at creating this game that's a mixture of Tetris and Bejeweled. Mm-hmm. Let's see what Grok comes up with.
I've played the game. It's pretty good. It's like, wow, okay, this is something.
Yeah. So while Grok is thinking in the background, we can now actually talk about some concrete numbers. How well is Grok doing across tons of different tasks that we've tested it on. So we'll hand it over to Tony to talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so let's see how Grok does on those interesting, challenging benchmarks. So reasoning, again, refers to those models that actually thinks for quite a long time before it tries to solve a problem. So in this case, around a month ago, the Grok 3 pre-training finished. So after that, we've worked very hard to put the reasoning capability into the current Grok 3 model. But again, this is very early days, so the model is still currently in training. So right now, what we're going to show to people is this beta version of the Grok 3 reasoning model. Alongside, we also are training a mini version of the reasoning model. So essentially, on this plot, you can see the Grok 3 reasoning beta and then Grok 3 mini reasoning. The Grok 3 mini reasoning is actually a model that we train for much longer time. And you can see that sometimes it actually performs slightly better compared to the Grok 3 reasoning. This also just means that there's a huge potential for the Grok 3 reasoning because it's trained for much less time. All right, so let's actually look at how it does on those 3 benchmarks. So Jimmy also introduced already. So essentially, we're looking at 3 different areas: mathematics, science, and coding. And for math, we're picking this high school competition math problem. For science, we actually pick those PhD level science questions. And for coding, it's also actually pretty challenging. It's competitive coding and also some lead code, which is some code interview problems that people usually get when they interview for company. So on those benchmarks, you can see that the Grok 3 actually performed quite well across the board compared to other competitors. So it's pretty promising. These models are very smart.
Yeah. So Tony, what are those shaded bars?
Yeah. So I'm glad you asked this question. So for those models, because it can reason, it can think, you can also ask them to even think longer. You can spend more what we call test and compute, which means you can spend more time to reason, to think about a problem before you spit out the answer. So in this case, the shaded bar here means that we just ask the model to spend more time. You can solve the same problem many times before it tries to conclude what is the right solution. And once you give this compute or this kind of budget to the model, it turns out the model can even perform better. So this is essentially the shaded bar in those plots.
Right. So I think this is really exciting, right? Because now instead of just doing one chain of thought with AI, why not do multiple all at once?
Yes.
So that's a very powerful technique that allows to continue scale the model capabilities after training. And people often ask, are we actually just overfitting to the benchmarks?
Yeah.
So how about generalization?
So yes, I think this is definitely a question that we are asking ourselves, whether we are overfitting to those current benchmarks. Luckily, we have a real test. So about 5 days ago, AMY 2025 just finished. This is where high school students compete in this particular benchmark. So we got this very fresh new competition, and then we asked our two models to compete on the same benchmark, the same exam. And it turns out, very interestingly, the Grok 3 reasoning, the big one, actually does better on this particular new fresh exam. This also means that the generalization capability of the big model is stronger, much stronger compared to the smaller model. If you compare to the last year's exam, actually this is the opposite. The smaller model kind of learns the previous exams better. So this actually shows some kind of true generalization from the model.
Yeah, right. So 17 months ago, our Grok 0 and Grok 1 barely solves any high school problems.
That's right.
And now we have a kid that just already graduated. The Grok is ready to go to college. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it won't be long before it's simply perfect. The human exams won't be hard. They'll be too easy.
Yeah. And internally, we actually, as the Grok continue evolves, we're going to talk about, what we're excited about, but very soon there will be no more benchmarks left.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that's quite fascinating, I think, is that we basically only trained Grok's reasoning abilities on math problems and competitive coding problems. Right? So very, very specialized kinds of tasks, but somehow it's able to work on all kinds of other different tasks. So including creating games, lots and lots of different things. And what seems to be happening is that basically Grok learns this ability to detect its own mistakes in its thinking, correct them, persist on a problem, try lots of different variants, pick the one that's best. So there are these generalizing abilities that Grok learns from mathematics and from coding, which it can then use to solve all kinds of other problems. So that's pretty.
I mean, reality is the instantiation of mathematics.
That's right. And one thing we're actually really excited about that going back to our founding mission is what if one day we have a computer just like Deep Thought that utilize our entire cluster just for that one very important problem in the test time. And all the GPU turned on, right? So I think back then we were building the GPU cluster together. You were plugging cables. And I remember that when we turned on the first initial test, you can hear all the GPUs humming in the hallway. That's almost feel like spiritual.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool thing that we're able to do, that we can go into the data center and tinker with the machines there. So for example, we went in and we unplugged a few of the cables and just made sure that our training setup is still running stably. So that's something that, I think most AI teams out there don't usually do, but it's actually totally unlocks like a new level of reliability and what you're able to do with the hardware. So
okay, so when are we going to solve Riemann?
So the easiest solution is to enumerate over all possible strings, and as long as you have a verifier, enough compute, you'll be able to do it. But
okay.
My projection will be.
What's your guess? What does your neural net calculate?
So my bold prediction. So 3 years ago I told you this. I think now it's 2 years later. Two things are gonna happen. We're gonna see machines win some medals.
Yeah.
That's Turing's Award.
Absolutely.
Fields Medal, Nobel Prize, with probably some expert in the loop, right? So the expert uplifting.
Do you mean so this year or next year?
Oh, okay.
That's what it comes down to, really.
Yeah.
Exactly. It looks like Grok finished all of its thinking on the two problem. So let's take a look at what it said. All right, so this was the little physics problem we had. We've collapsed the thoughts here, so they're hidden. And then we see Grok's answer below that. So it explains, it wrote a Python script here using matplotlib, then gives us all of the code. So let's take a quick look at the code. Seems like it's doing reasonable things here, not totally off the mark. Solve Kepler says here, so maybe it's solving Kepler's law numerically. There's really only one way to find out if this thing is working. I'd say let's give it a try. Let's run the code. All right, and we can see, Grok is animating two different planets, Earth and Mars here, and then the green ball is the vehicle that's transiting, the spacecraft that's transitioning between Earth and Mars. And you could see the journey from Earth to Mars, and it looks like, indeed, the astronauts returned safely, at the right moment in time. Obviously, this was just generated on the spot, so we can't tell you if that was actually a correct solution. So we're going to take a closer look. Maybe we're going to call some colleagues at SpaceX, ask them if this is legit.
That's pretty close. There's a lot of complexities in the actual orbits that have to be taken into account, but this is pretty close to what it looks like.
Awesome.
Cool. In fact, I have that on my pendant here. This has got the Earth Mars home and transfer on it.
Yeah. When are we going to install Grok on a rocket?
Well, I suppose in 2 years.
2 years? Everything is 2 years away.
Well, Earth and Mars transit occurs every 26 months. We're currently in a transit window approximately. The next one would be November of next year, roughly end of next year. And if all goes well, SpaceX will send Starship rockets to Mars, and with Optimus robots and Grok.
I'm curious what this combination of Tetris and Bejeweled looks like. The Tetris, as we've named it internally. We also have an output from Grok here. It says wrote a Python script, explains that it's what it's been doing. If you look at the code, there's some constants that are being defined here, some colors. Then the terminals, the pieces of Tetris are there.
It looks pretty
obviously very hard to see at one glance if this is good. So we gotta run this to figure out if it's working. Well, let's give it a try. Fingers crossed. All right. So this kind of looks like Tetris, but the colors are a little bit off, right? The colors are different here, and if you think about what's going on here, the joule has this mechanic where if you get 3 joules in a row, then they disappear, and also gravity activates, right? So what happens if you get 3 of the colors together? Okay, so something happened. So I think what Grok did in this version is that once you connect at least 3 blocks of the same color in a row, then gravity activates and they disappear, and then gravity activates and all the other blocks fall down. Kind of curious if there's still a Tetris mechanic here where if the line is full, does it actually clear it, or what happens then? It's up to interpretation, so who knows?
Yeah, it'll do different variants when you ask it. It doesn't do the same thing every time.
Exactly. We've seen a few other Tetris that worked very differently, but this one seems cool. So yeah.
Are we ready for Game Studio at X.AI?
Yes. So we're launching an AI gaming studio at XAI. If you're interested in joining us in building AI games, please join XAI. We're launching an AI gaming studio. We're announcing it tonight. Let's go.
Oh, wow.
Epic Games.
Wow. So they're launching that. That's fantastic. That's amazing. Wow, I didn't expect that at all. I thought that they were just talking about Grok. But this is good to know. It's good to know. Elon is known by many about doing crazy stuff, and I believe this could work.
That's an actual Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I think one thing is super exciting for us is that once you have the best pre-trained model, you have the best reasoning model, right? So we already see that when you actually give the capability for those models to think harder, think longer, think more broad, the performance continually improves. And we're really excited about the next frontier, that what happens if we not only allow the model to think harder, but also provide more tools. It's like how real humans to solve those problems. For real humans, we don't ask them to solve Riemann hypothesis just with a piece of pen and paper, no internet. So with all the basic web browsing, search engine, and code interpreters, that builds the foundations and the best reasoning model, builds the foundations for the Grok agent to come. So today we're actually introducing a new product called Deep Search. That is the first generation of our Grok agents that not just helping the engineers and researchers and scientists,
really good,
but actually help everyone to answer questions that you have day to day. It's kind of like a next generation search engine that really help you to understand the universe. So you can start asking questions like, for example, hey, when is the next Starship launch day, for example? So let's try that. Let's hit the answer. On the left-hand side, we see a high-level progress bar. Essentially, the model not only just going to do one single search like the current RAG system, but actually thought very deeply about, hey, what's the user intent here? And what are the facts I should consider at the same time? And how many different websites I should actually go and read their content, right? So can really save hundreds of hours of everyone's Google time if you want to really look into certain topics. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the bullet summaries of how the current model is doing, what websites browsing, what sources verifying, and oftentimes actually cross-validate different sources out there to make sure the answer is actually correct before it's output final answer. And we can, at the same time, fire up a few more queries. How about, Elon, you're a gamer, right? So
sure.
Yeah. So how about what are some of the best builds and most popular builds in Python Excel? Hardcore, right? Hardcore league.
You can technically just look at the hardcore ladder. Might be a fast way to figure it out.
I'm loving this game. Really good.
And then we can also do, something more fun. For example, how about like make a prediction about the March Madness out there?
Yeah. So this is kind of a fun one where Warren Buffett has $1 billion bet. If you can exactly match the sort of the entire winning tree of March Madness, you can win $1 billion from Warren Buffett. So it would be pretty cool if AI could help you win $1 billion from Buffett. That seems like a pretty good investment.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's fire up the query and see what model does. So we can actually go back to our very first one. How about
Buffett wasn't counting on this.
It's already done.
That's right. Okay. So we got the result of the first one. The model thought around 1 minute. So the key insight here, the next Starship is going to be on 24th or later, so no earlier than February 24th.
It might be sooner.
So I think we can, scroll down what the model does. So it does a little research on the Flight 7, what happened, got grounded, and actually it looked into the FCC filing, from its data collections, and then actually it made a new conclusion that, if we continue to scroll down, right. Yeah, so it makes the, little table, I think, inside XAI, we often joked about the time to the first table is the only, latency that matters. So that's how the model makes the inference and look up all the sources. And then we can look into the gaming one. So how about right. So for this particular one, we look at, the build is like, it's kind of better.
Yeah.
So what the infernal is, but if we go down, so the surprising fact of all the other builds. So it looked into the 12 classes. So we'll see that the Minion build was pretty popular whenever the game first came out, and now the invokers of the world took over.
Monk Invoker for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, followed by the Stone Weavers, and that's really good at mapping. So and then we can see the March Madness. How about that? So one interesting thing about the deep search is that if you actually go into the panel where it shows, what are the subtasks, you can actually click the bottom left of the right. And then in this case, you can actually scroll through, actually reading to the mind of Grok. What informations does the model actually think about are trustworthy, what are not? How does it actually cross-validate different information sources? So that makes the entire search experience and information retrieval process a lot more transparent to our users.
And this is much more powerful than any search engine out there. You can literally just tell it, only use sources from X, and it will try to respect that.
Yeah.
And so it's much more steerable, much more intelligent.
I mean, it really should save you a lot of time. So something that might take you half an hour or an hour of researching on the web or searching social media, you can just ask it to go do that and come back, and 10 minutes later, it's done an hour's worth of work for you. That's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
And maybe better than you could have done it yourself.
Yeah. Think about you have infinite amount of interns working for you. Now you can just fire up all the tasks and come back a minute later. So this is going to be an interesting one. So March Madness had not happened yet. So I guess we have to follow up with a next live stream.
Yeah. And it seems like pretty good.
Wow.
Like $40 might get you $1 billion. $40 subscription.
Who knows?
That's right.
I mean, my word.
So so when are the users going to have their hands on Grok 3?
Yeah, so the good news is we've been working tirelessly to actually release all of these features that we've shown you. The Grok 3 base model with amazing chat capabilities that's really useful, that's really interesting to talk to. The deep search, the advanced reasoning mode, all of these things, we want to roll them out to you today, starting with the Premium Plus subscribers on X. So it's the first group that will initially get access. Make sure to update your X app if you want to see all of the advanced capabilities, because we just released the update now as we're talking here. If you're interested in getting early access to Grok, then sign up for Premium Plus.
Yeah, so before you had to access Grok, you had to actually go to X, and then there was a section there where you could access and talk to it. Where now is amazing that you actually have an app to just literally go straight to Grok, and then there you're able to just, create your own stuff within the app. So you don't have to actually go to X and then, go to Grok's page and stuff. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it does make a difference when you have a dedicated app for that.
And also, we're announcing that we're starting a separate subscription for Grok that we call Super Grok, for those real Grok fans that want the most advanced capabilities and the earliest access to new features. So feel free to check that out as well.
This is for the dedicated Grok app and for the website.
Exactly.
Grok
So our new website is called grok.com.
Yeah.
And you'll also
You'd never guess.
Yeah, you'd never guess. And you can also find our Grok app in the iOS App Store. And that gives you like a more even more polished experience that's totally Grok focused. If you want to have Grok easily available one tap away.
Yeah, and the version on grok.com on a web browser is going to be the latest and most advanced version, because obviously it takes us a while to get something into an app and then get it approved by the App Store. So,
That's good.
And then if that's
So this is a key information. I guess most people think that normally the app will be the first, or even X will be first to get it. But to know that the dedicated page will be the first one is really good. So it's the most updated model, and it makes sense because it's just quicker to get sorted and to get up and running.
On a phone format, there's limitations of what you can do. So the most powerful version of Grok and the latest version will be the web version at grok.com.
Yeah. So what makes the name Grok Free in the app?
Dead giveaway.
Yeah, exactly. That's the giveaway, that you have Grok Free. And if it says Grok 2, then Grok 3 hasn't quite arrived for yet, but we're working hard to roll this out today, and then to even more people over the coming days.
Yeah, make sure you update your phone app too, where you're actually going to get all the tools we showcased today with the thinking mode, with the deep search. So yeah, really looking forward to all the feedbacks you have.
Yeah, and I think we should emphasize that this is kind of a beta, meaning that you should expect some imperfections at first, but we will improve it rapidly almost every day. In fact, every day I think it'll get better. So if you want a more polished version, I'd maybe wait a week, but expect improvements literally every day. And then we're also going to be providing a voice interaction, so you can have conversational. In fact, I was trying it earlier today. It's working pretty well, but these a bit more polish. The sort of way where you can just literally talk to it like you're talking to a person.
That actually, for me, in particular, for me personally, I love that. So I use that in ChatGPT all the time. It's so much easier. You can explain just as if you were talking to someone, and it just makes life so much easier. You can just explain and talk to it as if it was like just a normal person, your friend, or and then you get the best. For me, you get the best outcome out of it, because you always interacting as you would with a normal person, and I believe this is the best way of getting the answer you're looking for. And to be honest, to get a more precise kind of a thing, and also it's quicker as well. Then you just if you type in like a big text, that would take ages, and if you just talk to it, it's so much quicker, isn't it? So
that's awesome.
It's good to know.
I think one of the best experience of Grok, but that's probably about a week away.
Yeah. So with that said,
Well, I think we might have some audience questions.
Sure.
yeah.
today.
All right.
So let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look. The audience from the Ask platform.
Yeah.
Cool. So the first question here is, when Grok Voice Assistant? When is it coming out?
Well, guys, this is it. I just wanted to see all the new informations about Grok and how and when and what they would release. Grok is now released, so you can just go and download either the app or use on the web, as they said here. You can also use on X still. I personally use the free version of it, so I don't pay for Grok or even for other chat kind of bots like ChatGPT or anything. But by all means, when you pay, you get a lot more out of it. So if you are a heavy user for those tools and you need that to kind of create a text or create an email, or you have a heavy demand for those apps, so yeah, by all means pay for it, and then you would get the most out of it, and it's really, really good, and it can truly make your life so much easier and things go way faster. So this is it for today. I just wanted to double check and see the video and just react to this video with you guys, because it was something I really wanted to see what was new and what was coming up with Grok, because the first version that I previously used, and then the second one, the improvements were truly great. It was fantastic to use, so user-friendly, and now having the voice option to use as well. I'm not sure the voice is just if you pay for it, because obviously on ChatGPT at the moment is you can use with a free account as well. But yeah, by all means, if that's coming out and if it's worth it to kind of a pay, and then you should do it, because it's fantastic. It's a great tool, not only for text or for the chat bot, but also to create gaming, and as they shown. Guys, this is it. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This was amazing, and it was truly great to see you all here and be back, to record more videos. I want to do so much more. It's an amazing tool. Go and test it, and let me know down in the comments, what did you think about Grok 3, and if you used it, if you didn't use it, and what do you think about it. That's amazing, guys. See you in the next time. Bye.